This is the latest in one of the largest joint U.S.-Panama operations, targeting South American drug gangs in history. 13 tons of cocaine, with a black market value of over $200 million. The drugs were seized on board a tugboat heading for the United States. By entering the U.S. market, the cartel's profits would have exceeded $1 billion. In the coming hours, all those detained on board this vessel, foreign nationals, including citizens of Venezuela, Nicaragua, Colombia, and Ecuador, will be or have already been handed over to the competent judicial authorities. Their legal situation will be clearly defined, and charges of international drug trafficking will be formally brought. The Americans are tightening the noose around drug traffickers. First, a campaign of airstrikes on boats. At the same time, an intelligence operation tracked down the gang's hideouts. Now, as announced by the U.S. Department of War, a military operation aimed directly at the cartels is ready. President Trump ordered action, and the Department of War is delivering. Today, I'm announcing Operation Southern Spear. Led by Joint Task Force Southern Spear and the U.S. Southern Command, this mission defends our homeland, removes narco-terrorists from our hemisphere, and secures our homeland from the drugs that are killing our people. The Western Hemisphere is America's neighborhood, and we will protect it. According to U.S. media and White House sources, official and unofficial meetings have been taking place there for several days, with representatives of the administration and officials from South American countries. The U.S. Secretary of State has just met with the foreign ministers of Brazil and Argentina. Officially, the talks were about cooperation. Unofficially, they were a warning about the U.S. military storm approaching South America, the epicenter of which may hit Venezuela.
The region has been quite silent in its criticism of the U.S. In fact, many countries have been supportive of the deployment in the Southern Caribbean. A number of countries have also declared Venezuelan cartels to be foreign terrorist organizations, which looks to Washington as if the region is actually in favor of the pressure campaign against Maduro, as opposed to lending him any kind of diplomatic credibility.
For several weeks now, since the Americans began rapidly increasing their military presence in the Caribbean, the media has been asking the U.S. president whether there will be an invasion. Just a few days ago, Donald Trump insisted that the United States would not strike Venezuela. Today, he neither denies nor confirms this.
I sort of made up my mind, I mean, I can't tell you what it would be, but I sort of made up my mind. We'll see what happens. I can't tell you what it is, but we made a lot of progress with Venezuela in terms of stopping drugs from bringing in. But we have a Mexico problem. We have a Colombia problem. Really, Colombia, the country. We're doing very well. Drugs coming into our country are greatly slowed, as you can imagine.
Venezuela is preparing for war. This is the clear message from the dictator and his regime in Caracas. The mobilization of the armed forces has been announced, and civilians are undergoing training exercises. Maduro himself is making increasingly hysterical speeches to his compatriots and Venezuela's allies, mainly Russia. We cannot allow, 80 years after the great victory of the Red Army of the Soviet Union, which broke the backbone of the Nazis by defeating them in Berlin, we cannot allow the rise and imposition of a military and colonial trend and allow them to come and kill innocent people. Appeals to the Kremlin are unlikely to help. Russia is too busy with the situation in Ukraine to effectively block a potential U.S. strike. In Venezuela itself, outside the capital, support for Maduro is almost at zero. Maduro knows that in the event of U.S. intervention, his career will be over. And if captured by the Americans, he will face trial for collaborating with gangs and supporting cartels.